There are moments in our lives that we long anticipate, that we quickly experience, and then, just like that, they are over. Today's graduation has officially begun, and very soon it will end, just like every graduation before it. But tonight's graduation is unique. Unique because it celebrates the achievements of this class, the American Embassy School graduating class of 2011. This class is without a doubt a class of academics, but it's also a class of athletes, a class of performers, artists, and above all, a class of friends. This is a truly exceptional group of high school students, and I feel honored to call them my peers. Welcome AES Board of Directors, faculty, and administration. Welcome parents, families, and friends. Welcome seniors. And a very warm welcome to our guest speaker, Mrs. Nirupama Rao. Thank you for joining us here today. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of 2011. Okay, so first on tonight's program is the lighting of the dia. The lighting of the dia is an important part of tonight's ceremony for several reasons. First of all, the light represents the dispelling of darkness and ignorance, allowing the spread of wisdom and truth. Today's graduation is a step in that direction. But in addition to symbolically representing our future, the dia is also a reminder of the absolutely amazing place in which we were able to get our education, India. India, without a doubt, will affect us throughout our lives, whether in an increased understanding and appreciation of the opportunities that are afforded to us, or if whenever we hear someone say, "My name is Sheila," we start singing, "My name is Sheila, Sheila." Anyway, I'd like to invite the Senior Class Council to come light the dia. I now have the honor of introducing this year's valedictorian. I can think of no person in our school who deserves this honor more than my friend Shampa Chowdhury. In Shampa's own endeavors for excellence, she's managed to raise the bar for all of us, inspiring us to become better versions of ourselves.
Priya, for your kind words and for conducting the ceremony so wonderfully this evening. Good evening. I am privileged to represent my distinguished classmates of the class of 2011 today. But I'm also intimidated. I'm intimidated because each of the 85 graduating seniors here today is unique and gifted. Preparing a graduation speech, especially for this class, is a challenge because, firstly, I have to somehow sum up our entire high school experience in less than 10 minutes. And secondly, I have to avoid cliches. I found the top 3 graduation cliches online and realized that I should probably not tell you to follow your dreams, or that you've made lifelong friendships here in high school, or that you are the future. But I also also realized that these same cliches, when spoken with true feelings, can actually be meaningful. So, even though it's nearly impossible for me to represent every dream, interest, challenge, and accomplishment that each student here has had at AES, I can definitely speak to the tremendous passion that our class embodies. This graduating class is one of leaders. Leaders who are ambitious, passionate, determined, and even insane. We seem insane because we can survive on an average of 4 hours of sleep, because we never stop striving for excellence, and because we have proved to be immune to the most contagious disease of all time, senioritis. The class of 2011 is extraordinary. My journey through AES is very similar to most of yours, having moved here from another country. I have always been amazed by how culturally astute each student here is. Many other schools provide students with the opportunity to excel, but I realized that by forcing us to recognize our responsibilities, AES shapes us into mature and insightful individuals. So maybe you should listen to cliche number 1 and follow your dreams, because you're more than ready for them. As a new incoming junior, I remember being told that the class of 2011 is a competitive one. A description that many of us have heard time and again. But whenever I had a hard and rather fruitless day that made me convinced that the IB was my worst enemy, my friends never let me dwell in misery alone. Because we would just always dwell in misery together. And so I justified cliche number 2 as well, because we really have made lifelong friendships here at AES. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating students here regularly set high standards for themselves and overtake even those standards with their perseverance. I am honored to be part of such a class. A class in which there is almost always someone else awake to help you, even in the wee hours of the morning, when there seems to be nothing that makes you happier than finding that one limitation to your higher level chemistry lab. A class where you can expect at least one other person to nod his or her head when you relate disorder in a society to the second law of thermodynamics or entropy. A class in which the student who leads profound discussions about Keats's poetry is also a soccer champion and a service club leader. A class where every student is truly an inspiration. So I also justified cliche number 3, because with all your amazing accomplishments, you better be the future of this world. After speaking at length about all the accomplishments of my classmates, I wouldn't be citing my sources accurately if I didn't attribute those to the faculty and the administration at AES. If there is another entity that works harder and is more awesome than the class of 2011 on campus, it is the faculty. I want to thank you for catalyzing any progress that we have made thus far. In my senior year, I had the privilege of having teachers like Mr. Hoover, who makes biological terminology, like monocots and dicots, sound fun. Like Mr. Zabinski, who can literally break a whiteboard out of excitement over taxes. Like Ms. Sosa, whose commitment makes even 8 hours of preparing for a test seem negligible. Like Mr. Fisher, who always manages to find that one math problem that forces you to think outside, or for that matter, even without the box. Like Ms. Brown, who somehow manages to make us work productively, even at Open Hands Cafe during class. And like Ms. Proud, who solves just about every problem with her encouraging smile. I know your contributions are beyond words, but I really mean it when I say thank you. I now want to take this time to appreciate our families. Your sacrifices have been immense. From giving up your free time to guide and help us through our troubles, to being the only ones who actually wake up to the alarms we set, to tolerating our transformation from Dr. Jekyll into Mr. Hyde under stress. So for every time we forget to thank you, for every time that we forget to tell you how much you mean to us, I want you to know that we love you. My parents and elder sisters specifically, you are my role models and support systems. I have not yet found the words to aptly describe the extent of your contributions. But I want to dedicate this moment to you, because without you, my life is incomplete. Finally, the graduates. Thank you for being united and for supporting each other through this significant chapter in our lives. This bond we share will continue far into the future. We've often been told that there are greater challenges in store for us, but so what? We are the class of 2011. We can and we will face every challenge head on and achieve our dreams. Congratulations, class of 2011. We did it.
After that amazing speech, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. One of our many favorites in both teaching and constant comedic stylings, Mr. Benjamin Yo.
Good evening. Nervous, but I'm also Benjamin Yo, and I am lucky enough to have taught a great number of the class of 2011. When Tanvi and Mahika asked me to do this, I went straight to Google and typed in awesome graduation speeches. Google directed me to a USA Today article entitled "The Best Graduation Speeches Ever." The winner was given by Steve Jobs, and it starts with this line. "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." That struck me as being quite depressing. So instead I had a speech about dreams, friends, and you are the future. Okay, let's get into it. However you feel about your school experience right now, you will reflect on AES in a positive way, because you leave behind a community of people who cared about you and who wanted you to succeed. You will look back on your school days with a sentimental fondness. Your first kiss, your first love, the game you won, the game you lost, the teachers who made your life hell, and those who made it better. You won't forget your friends, although time and distance may separate you. There will always be a special place in your heart for those who made your world better. And you'll leave behind parents who won't know how to fill their days, whose hearts and bank accounts will forever be a little emptier because of your departure. Unless you got a scholarship, and then it's off to the Maldives with them. So, or the Ferrari dealership which opened up today. You also leave behind dengue, so it isn't all bad. You learned a lot here than history.